welcome to another episode of the Trash Talking and Giving Back podcast. I'm Erin-Cofiell-Barker, joined by my co-host Joe Sinagra of Myers Containers. Joe, what's been going on? This week has been kind of rainy, but we needed it.
We did need the rain, which is good. Rain's one of those things here in the business that we don't love because, of course, it makes it harder for our workers to get in and out of trucks, and you have more chance of slipping. And, of course, it makes trash heavier, which is always another challenge when you're trying to pick up trash and recycling when it's wet. But we do need it. And the grass has been getting brown, so it'll be nice to hopefully see some of the green grass coming back.
I know that my children have been loving having their rain boots on and just jumping in every puddle they could find. I dropped them off this morning, and just from the car to the building, they found at least 5 huge puddles to just be classic little kids jumping. And I was like, oh, our outfits are all wet already, but not my problem.
Curious, at what age is that no longer acceptable? Because who doesn't love jumping in puddles?
This is true. How's your week been other than that?
Week has been wonderful, trying to soak up everything Vermont has to offer. Fall really is the best time of the year here. So my daughter went apple picking this last weekend, so she made a homemade apple crisp last night. So there's something about walking in the door and the cooking of cinnamon and apples in the oven, just, it's what makes Vermont great.
We only get that scent in my house via candle. I do have a couple.
You have it. You remember those days, where I'm sure you experienced it, that the boys try and impress the girls, so they do all the fall stuff. So my daughter's boyfriend was back in town for the weekend, and so they came home and they did the apple picking in the corn maze, and I was talking to him and I said, wow, I didn't realize you were such a big fan of apple picking and such. And he just kind of looked at me as, as a young man would look at doing things that his girlfriend wants to do.
Hey, what a catch, though. He does what she wants. I like it.
Absolutely.
Something else that kind of comes around every fall once we hit October is it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. One of the many charities that Myers supports is Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, which is they have walks coming up, the American Cancer Society, right? They have walks coming up for this year's initiative. So today's guest is the development manager. Her name is Lisa-Fitzgerald. And Lisa, I know this is, you're kind of new to the job. This is your first fall doing the Making Strides walks. How has it been being new on the job?
Yes, well, welcome. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for having me on today. I just have to say one thing. I can relate to that same story you just told, Joe, because my son and his girlfriend just came home this past weekend, and they too went apple picking, and they too made apple crisp Friday night at my mother-in-law's.
Are your kids dating? Did we not know this?
Just, the typical fall routine. But yes, it was delicious to eat apple crisp and smell it.
I love it.
But yeah, so
are you from Vermont, and then this was just a job change? What? Talk about, switching over there and how excited you are to be there.
Sure. So I've been in Vermont 28 years. I am not from Vermont. I'm from Connecticut and New Jersey. I married a Vermonter who I met in Philadelphia. So we moved back. My husband is from Vermont. His family, some of his family is still here. We moved back to help them out. And that's what got me here 28 years later. And I'm still here. I have 2 kids, but they've both left the area, but they do come to visit. And so it's just my husband and I and my dog.
Okay.
So, American Cancer Society is wonderful. It's great. I've had various jobs covering almost all the state of Vermont in my 28 years here. I was with Red Cross for 8 years. I also was in sales covering the state. So I know the state pretty well, but I'm pretty excited with this because most of it's in Chittenden County, which I do know very well. We do several events. Right now, our premier event is the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, which is October 5th. 10 days away, but who's counting? It's crunch time. And then we do Relay for Life, which is well known. That's out in Essex, the fairgrounds. It's going to be June 19th this year. And we also do something called Hope on the Slopes up in Jay Peak. And that's going to be March 1st, a Sunday. So that's another really exciting event. We do have other events going on in the state. It's just I'm responsible for those 3.
So I've been to your event a few years ago at Carnes. Maybe you could talk a little bit about sort of the event itself and how the walk goes and sort of where it goes. I know it kind of originates at Carnes, or what I consider Carnes,
Yeah.
but it goes from there.
Yes. So it is Carnes Arena. I call it the same thing. On our mailing, it says Veterans Memorial Park, Dorset Street. But I think most people do know it as Carnes Arena. And also now we have the wonderful dog park is there too, which is great. So yes, the walk takes place there. I think this might be our 14th or 15th year. I should know that. It's very exciting. Really, it brings the community together. It's a celebration of courage and hope. It's a fun day. It's an exciting day. It's a movement uniting communities to end breast cancer as we know it. It's all about having fun and camaraderie. We have different teams come out. Right now, I believe we're up to 35 teams, which is very exciting. And you can also come just as a participant. You don't have to be a team. There's no fee to register, which is great. Obviously, we encourage people to fundraise. There's all kinds of fun ways you can fundraise. We can talk about that. But it's a great day. Yeah, as you can see, the hope sign's incredible. It's a day of spirit and encouragement, camaraderie. We're celebrating survivors and thrivers and previvors and caregivers. And I think it empowers people. It makes you're not going through this journey alone. And we're really trying to grow the event. Besides just Chittenden County, we've got people that do come from all over. I've been promoting it up in the St. Albans area, the Waterbury area, Montpelier. We really welcome people from anywhere. And really the best way is, just get involved. If you want to form a team, talk to your friends, your family, your coworkers. Everybody knows people from different places. It could be from work. It could be from church. It could be your book club, your gym, whatever. Spreading the word on social media. That's a great picture. We did a 50-50 for the first time this year at Champlain Valley Fair. They let us have a concert. I don't know if you guys remember 38 Special or Loverboy, but that's who was there. And I have to say it was a really fun night selling tickets. Myself and the other people you see are part of our committee. We have a volunteer committee that really is the one who really empowers us and runs us and does a lot of work. We meet weekly. So it was a really fun night getting the word out, walking around, selling tickets. People were very generous. So yeah, it's a very great event. All that money goes towards research. We do a lot of things locally. You've probably heard of the Hope Lodge. It's in Burlington, right near the hospital. That's one of our, the biggest things, we fund that. That's an incredible resource to have in Burlington because not every city in the country has them. We're very fortunate. And, that's a place where people can go that are going for cancer treatments that live 40 miles away. And it's a beautiful place if you haven't been in it, but it just gives the people a chance to relax, focus on their treatments, not worry about financially, how are they going to pay to stay overnight or, have a 4-hour round trip drive. So that's a very exciting thing we're lucky to have. We also do Road to Recovery, which offers people rides to their treatment because, frankly, if you're not feeling well, who wants to drive? Some people just aren't able to. So a lot of great programs, research.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, right, breast cancer is some cancer, but also breast cancer is something that really does kind of touch everyone's world in one way or another. I know myself, my mom's mother passed away fairly young of breast cancer. My mom last fall actually just had stage 0, which was treated, and she just actually had like a mammogram appointment the other day and everything looks great. But it's a really big thing. And I remember one of the things my mom told me as she was sharing it with people was she was shocked at how many people she interacted with and she knew had been through something similar, right? Some process of it themselves or someone they had, known really well had. And so it's out there and it's something that is important to raise money for and learn more about and research so that, we can get to the bottom of it.
For sure. I'm glad you brought that up. It is amazing how many people have breast cancer. 1 in 8 people will get breast cancer. It's the most common behind skin cancer for women. But another statistic I just read is it has been decreasing steadily since 2022. I think they said about 44%. And that really is because of research. It is because of early detection. Breast Cancer Awareness Month starts in October, but people should always be aware. You've got to get a mammogram. It's such an easy thing to do. It's so simple. I mean, I'd much rather do that than go to the dentist, frankly.
I would too. Joe, I know you don't know what the experience is, but it's just like a little squeezing around and then you're like, all right, we're good.
It takes about 5 minutes. What the problem is, it takes about 6 months to get an appointment because I just talked to them. I tried to make my appointment. She's like, I can't get you in until July. I said, you're kidding me. But she said the last 4 years, obviously the population's grown in Vermont. More people are moving in. They offer the service in 3 different places, but obviously there must be a lot of women getting mammograms. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing, want to talk about also is it's not just women. Actually, there's stigma that has lifted. And we actually had a worker here at Myers who he unfortunately is going through it now. And he's actually been able to help destigmatize the male breast cancer. And he's been talking about it as well here with our workers as well. So a lot of our employees here didn't realize they thought it was just a female disease, and unfortunately it's not.
Right. Well, no, that's a really good point because that is definitely true. Men can get the disease. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but they certainly can. I'm glad you brought that up because, they should be part of this as well. We're trying to, advocate for everybody and health equity, and we want to do whatever we can to eradicate cancer. So, it's very important. Any kind of testing that can be done ahead of time is really what the key is, catching it early.
So
I was gonna tee that up. I was gonna tee that up for you, Joe. Obviously, individuals participate, volunteer, donate money, but a lot of companies also, put their support behind events like this, behind the American Cancer Society. Joe, you first, and why is this an important one for Myers to contribute to? And then Lisa, if you could just talk about, what that means to the organization to have that support.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. So, this walk and Cancer Society in general is one of our 3 major sponsorships that we do a year. And Jeff has been supporting it a long time. Like, you both were talking about, I don't think anyone now hasn't been touched, unfortunately, by cancer. We all have stories, and Jeff's no different than anyone else. And he had a very close family member who went through breast cancer, and she actually spoke a couple years ago at the walk about it and presented a check. So it was something that's close and near and dear to Jeff's heart. You can talk a little bit more about that, but my follow-up question on it also is, there's so many wonderful charities going around in Vermont that everyone wants to support. And I'm amazed by how the Cancer Society and Strides have been able to stay as kind of one of the leading charities in the state. So I'm really impressed by how you're able to keep it in front of everyone. It's, cancer might not be the sexy charity as unfortunately.
Right. No, that's a great point. Well, first I want to start off and say, yes, thank you very, very much for Myers doing what you do and supporting us. You are our lead sponsor and we couldn't do it without you. So yes, thank you very much. And everybody does have a story. I mean, there's different reasons people choose to, donate to different charities. Usually somebody's touched by it or they know somebody. And you're right. Unfortunately, nowadays, everybody knows somebody, whether it's breast cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, somebody knows somebody. So, we really try. Part of my job is doing things like we're doing today, getting on different programs and speaking about what it is the walk does and how it empowers people and why we do it. And we want to be part of the community. Tomorrow, I'm going to be putting up about 50 different signs throughout Chittenden County talking about the walk. So again, people driving down the road might see it. It's not too late to sign up. We're doing some PSAs on radio with Star 92.9. We're doing some TV things with ABC 22. They have it on at night. You can see, a PSA about that. We do a lot of networking. We talk to people. I just went to a Chamber of Commerce meeting. It's amazing. The more people you talk to, the more you hear the stories, and you do find out it is common and people want to talk about it. This year we were at the fair. I actually went that Sunday. It was a beautiful day, and I partnered with 92.9, and I had an informational booth. And it really was rewarding. I had many, many people come over and talk to me and tell me about either their personal story with breast cancer or like a family member story or a friend. So I think people really wanted to share that, which is really motivating because that's why we do what we do. We want to get the awareness out there. And the whole reason for the walk is to create awareness. It is to raise funds. I can talk about more about where those funds go, but it's also such a fun, supportive day. I mean, it's people are coming together to share their experiences, whether you're the caregiver or whatever you are. We want everybody to be together and share that experience.
Well, why don't you share with us some of what the funds go towards? And then I know you mentioned that you've got a little bit of trivia for Joe and I, so then we could maybe do that.
I do. So, it's just interesting. The funds go all over, but just to give you an idea, a really specific idea, I'm just looking at something. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
My phone was turned off, but So just for example, $10 can go towards education. This is general education, not just breast cancer, any type of cancer education. $25 goes towards our 24-hour hotline. It allows somebody to make a call. That is the most amazing thing. We have this 24-hour hotline. You're not going to get somebody from another country talking to you. You're not going to get, put on a hold. You're going to get a live person. If you're, awake at 2 a.m. worrying about your treatment, or you've got a question, you're too embarrassed to ask somebody, all you've got to do is call that number. So
is it important? Is it the same person over and over again? You can answer it. We could pause.
No. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
No, it's totally fine.
No, I know what it is. It's not. Hopefully they want to make a donation. It's a corporate person. I'm just trying to turn this phone off. I have the volume down, but it's not.
They can make a donation live on the podcast.
Hello? Can I call you back? Oh my gosh. It's either that or somebody hacked my debit card, so they could be telling me my name is here. Anyway, sorry about that interruption, but no, it's pretty amazing. So yes, that's one of the places it goes to our 24-hour hotline. I just think that's the greatest thing. If you're stressed out, you don't want to ask somebody else, you can get on the phone with a live person that's going to answer your question and support you. Road to Recovery, we do that locally in Vermont and throughout the country. That's about $50. That is, again, when I mentioned somebody can get a ride. You don't have a car, you don't have a caregiver, you're too sick to get there, you'll get a ride. And again, the Hope Lodge is another place where it goes. And of course, research.
Mm-hmm. And before you get into your trivia, I have to say that the 24-hour hotline, the people who staff it are amazing. As somebody who had experience, my mother had cancer and she lost her life. And my father, who's an old Italian grumpy man, used to call the 24-hour hotline asking if they found a cure yet for cancer. Oh. And he would often call very upset about how, why aren't they doing more and all this other stuff. And the number of times he would call, they would still so nice, talk to him, and they understood that, he was going through a grieving period here for a long time. And $25 donation is very small amount, and it does directly impact not just those going through the disease, but those who are left behind.
Yeah, that's a great thing to hear, right? Because anybody can call. You're a caregiver. I mean, I was a caregiver for somebody not with cancer, but with Alzheimer's. I mean, people need to be supported. That's, again, why when at the day of the walk, we put sashes out and people can pick what they prefer. We've got survivor sashes, we've got thrivers, and we've got caregivers, because we want to recognize the caregivers, because really, behind somebody going through this type of disease, there usually is somebody being very supportive, which needs to be recognized, because they do a lot, and it's a lot. So hopefully nobody goes through the journey alone. And that's, if you are, then again, call that phone number and somebody will talk to you.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So
Okay, I'm ready to be smarter than Joe. Are you smarter than Joe? Joe, that could be a new segment.
Yeah.
Are you smarter than Joe?
Well, you are.
So you want me to ask you a trivia question?
Yep, let's do it. Let's hope we don't embarrass ourselves.
I just learned this myself last week. So when do you think the pink ribbon first came about? When and how?
Oh, I'm going to say 1986.
I think later than that. And I'm feeling like, did it come about like related to a famous person or a person's wife being sick?
Well, here's a scoop because I just found this out. This is very interesting. A woman named Charlotte Haley in the early 1990s first came up with a peach color ribbon to raise awareness. And then it was 1992, I believe, Estee Lauder, the famous makeup company, and Self Magazine came together. And that's when they started a whole awareness campaign with the pink ribbon in 1992. So I think that was really exciting. They came up with that to support and educate.
And then I feel like breast cancer with pink, right? I feel like, was that like the first one? Because now I know all different forms of cancers. I feel like there's different colors for different ones. But
you're right. Yeah. You're right. That was probably the first one. I don't know about the others when they started, but it's interesting. A coworker just gave me a one-page flyer. I can send it to you if you really want to see it later, for the different colors. Like purple is for relay because that's for all cancers. But there are several different color ribbons for different types of cancer, which is really interesting. Yeah. But obviously the pink movement really took off. But this is really interesting too, to say this. I'm looking at something and it's saying, we're celebrating 40 years of turning awareness into action with breast cancer. American Cancer Society launched the first awareness campaign, or helped launch it in 1985. So what they're encouraging in October is everyone, not just a pink ribbon, not just wearing pink, but I love this. Take action. It's Awareness Month. It says, let's get loud. Let's share our stories. Let's volunteer. Let's form a team. Let's fundraise. Let's get screened for our mammogram. So I love the way they say that. They're like, let's get loud. Like, don't just wear pink or a ribbon. Let's really take action. Which is what
we want to help with that action here. One of the things we have here we have pink totes. We are the Red Can family, but anyone who signs up for new service and requests a pink tote, we're donating that first month to Making Strides. So we are the Red Can family, but for the month of October, we're the Pink Can family. So those who are out there listening and watching, call up, sign up for new service. And even if you are a current customer and you want a pink can instead of a red can, we're happy to give you that pink can.
Oh, that's super
really
exciting.
Cool.
I did not know that, because we have some little mini red totes from you. Yeah. That's really exciting. If you want to, I don't know if you've got a flyer or anything on that, but I'm willing to share that on social media.
Be happy to. It's we started the program about 6 or 7 years ago as sort of a something to do in conjunction, since we've been sponsoring it for so long, and we got a series of pink totes, and we weren't sure how many people would want it, but the responses have been great, and so now we try to do it every year. That
is so exciting. No, definitely send me information. I'm all about sharing on social media. Anything like that is great. And that brings up another point too, for anybody that's listening that wants to form a team, or maybe already has a team or whatever. So obviously people that have already signed up are fundraising now before the 5th. But some people, they come the day of with their money, but we want to encourage people to keep fundraising, because we have some companies and other places. You could still do things through October, November, and December, and we can still apply that towards the Making Strides walk. So, if it's something that you can't do right away, you might want to do an event like a bake sale at your kid's soccer game, and maybe it's not till the middle of October. Certainly you can do that. Cornhole tournament, pancake breakfast, whatever it is you want to do. We're doing things throughout October, November to still raise the money. So, but I love that pink tote.
Yeah, well, so I do want to say, so October the 5th at Veterans Memorial is the Making Strides of Northern Vermont Walk. For any of our listeners that are in Southern Vermont, there is one also at Castleton University on October the 20th.
Yes.
Or, people could go to both if they want. Before we go, we do a Trashy or Not segment every week here on the podcast. So, Lisa, I know we pre-screened you to make sure you were up for being a part of it this week, but let's hear what Joe's got for us.
All right.
Yes. So this week's Trashy or Not, Vermont, we pride ourselves on being a little more laid back than the rest of the country, which is a positive thing. And I've experienced, I'm sure, Erin, you have as well. You go into a bigger city in New York or Boston, and there's dress attire for restaurants and the theater and places like that. Now, a good thing here in Vermont, we don't have usually dress attire in public, but trashy or not, a nice restaurant, we have a lot of them here in Vermont, or the Flynn or another nice venue, trashy or not, wearing shorts and a t-shirt when you go to a nice restaurant or the theater.
I mean, I think it's a little bit trashy, right? But I'd give someone maybe the benefit of the doubt if there's a reason for it, right? And I don't want to assume like, oh, if you can afford to come to dinner at this nice restaurant, then maybe you could have afforded something a little nicer to wear, I guess is the thought. But I don't know if that just kind of makes me sound like entitled to assume that. But I do remember one time when I was a server, I think, or on vacation, someone had said to me, like, what to you feels like just going out to dinner could be a night that someone has been like saving their money for months and like really looking forward to it and going. But then I would feel like if that was the person doing that, they would have been like, no, we're going to get dressed nice and go out to our fancy dinner. That means like so much to us. Whereas someone who's maybe a little bit, better off and goes out to eat all the time, their bar kind of drops a little bit because they do it a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with it's a little trashy.
I'm going to have to go with trashy myself. No judgment, but trashy. I mean, I don't know. I don't go out very often. So if I was going to the Flynn, I'd want to get dressed up just because it's kind of fun. Yeah.
I agree. It's nice to have a reason to get dressed up because like you said, there isn't a lot of going out and doing things these days. And so it's nice to have something to get dressed up for. Did you dress up when you went out, Joe?
Well, yes, dress pants, khakis and a button-down dress shirt.
Okay.
And yes, I was going to say, one of the great things about Vermont, though, is, I experienced this. Nobody was. You go out in New York City to a restaurant, and if you see somebody in a polo shirt or jeans, everybody's looking at them and everything like that. Going out in Vermont, you run the gamut from people in gowns to shorts and everything in between, and nobody stood out, which is wonderful. I mean, nobody would stand it. It wasn't unusual for me to see a woman dressed very nicely in a ball gown and a guy in shorts and a graphic T-shirt talking about how terrible the Red Sox were. So it was.
Yeah, were they together?
I know that'd be together,
but it was amazing. But it's what makes Vermont great.
This is true. I love it.
Takes all types.
It does take all types. All right, one more time. The Making Strides of Northern Vermont Walk is October the 5th at Veterans Memorial.
Go to makingstrideswalk.org/Northern Vermont if you want to sign up. That's the best way to do it. If you have questions, you call 1-800-227-2345. The walk starts at 12, registration's at 10. You can even come the day of and sign up if you'd like to.
Perfect.
All
and
welcome.
If you want to change your hauler and you want a pink can, if you switch to Myers in October, they'll take that first month and they will donate it and you can have a pink tote. And if you're already a client and you want a pink tote, just call Joe and tell him you heard it on the podcast and you want a pink tote.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Trash Talking and Giving Back podcast. And we'll see you all again next week.